Well, there's a series of things, but one of the ones that people forget most of all is just focus. You know, it's very important to assume that there's all these things that you should do when you're running that business. Every day people give you advice, you read stuff in the papers, you business books, all of this. The most important thing though is work out what are the few things you have to get done and get those ones done. And actually, you know, I never dealt with more than 5 things a day. So if you can deal with that, then you can get things done. Don't get distracted. Well, I don't think of it that way. So I sit through a lot of these sort of what I call macro analysis of, you know, this is the hot area or that's the hot area. By the time people are thinking about what's the hot area, for my area, which is fundamental technology investing, it's too late. You need to have done it before then. So I don't really look at it that way. What I look at is going back to the fundamental driver of everything that goes on with humanity, which is people. And the problems that people have actually don't change very much. We still, you know, love and hate and fear in the same way as Shakespeare wrote about. So what you have to do is look at how does technology map onto that. That's the driver. So for example, when we were in autonomy, we had a massively successful strategy because we worked out that the legal system has been around basically since the Romans. It hasn't changed and it's there, and the whole of civilization depends on it. You can't run a modern society without a legal system. But because you now had terabytes of information, the method that the Romans invented called discovery wasn't going to work anymore. So what that said was what people needed, put with the technology, is what told you what the opportunity was going to happen. To us, that looked like it was inevitability before it was obvious. And if you got into that area, you were very successful. Well, you have to go back to the life that I've led. When I first started with founding businesses, there was almost no venture capital in the UK. You couldn't list a young company on London Stock Exchange without 3 years of profits. You couldn't give options to your staff. So all of these things have changed. And what we actually see now is we have a great number of wonderful startups. We have a reasonable number of companies going to the next level. And what we've seen during my time is companies that have gone from startup to being the world leader, like ARM, you know, classic case of that situation. So it is possible to go all the way through the pipeline and get from one end to the other now. That's an incredibly optimistic thing. The fact that we're worrying about moving the startups up to becoming very big companies, that's a very high class problem. So everything's moving in the right direction. And at the bottom of it all, the fundamental resource that powers this is the incredible people we have in Europe. Our science base is amazing, our universities are great, and we're incredibly creative. What we've now done is unblock the problems that are stopping that turning into businesses. Well, you've got 2 ways of looking at it. One is that there's a mathematical certainty. If we've got that many starting at stage 1 and then it sort of gets whittled down, eventually you're going to get there. That's fine, and that's the optimistic way. The pessimistic way is it's a bit like one of those cartoon characters that's on a train and there's no tracks and he's having to lay the tracks in front of the train. We are having to fix the problems ahead of the businesses as they grow. So now, for example, we have a very nice bold mid-sized companies that are going to go up to the next level where there, for example, the capital markets in Europe needs to be able to handle those companies, and it probably needs some changes for that. So a little bit of, inevitably it should go the right way, but the garden still needs some tending. Well, it's very important, but I do think it's important to put the cart and the horse the right way around. I'm not here because there's an event, okay? The reason I'm here is because I keep coming across amazing young companies in Switzerland, and particularly the work that's going on, for example, around Lausanne. So that's what brings me here, and then that's what brings this function here with the kind of attendees that you've got. You know, you see these kind of things pop up all over the place. The issue that makes this different is that you've got, you know, some really, really good people here, both on the investor and the company side, and that's brought about mainly by the fact that people realise there's something special happening here.